All right, so on our math workshop today, the first one, we're adding our decimals. What is our rule for when we're adding decimals? Jeremy? Yes, we have to line the decimals up. So my first number was 6.932. So I have the decimal. I'm going to make sure to line it up directly underneath. That's how I should see that set up. Gabriel, Marlene? All right. So then on the second decimal, I have 171 in front. So I'm going to put 171 in front. In the back, I have a 6. All right, what do I need to do? What else do I need to do? So double check your work. Make sure your decimals are in a line. What am I going to add to that? Noah? Zeros. And I'm just going to put zeros after the 6. I could put zeros above the 7 and 1, but I usually wouldn't put them in front of a number. All right, so adding that up, 2 and 0 is 2. 3 and 0, 3, 6, and 9 is 15. Keep my decimal, carry the 1. So I brought that down. 1, 6, and 1 is 8. Then we have the 7 and the 1. So I got 178.532. On the next one, when I'm subtracting decimals, I have to line them up still. So I have my 82.16. You notice, did I do anything with that number in front? The first number? No, I just left it. I'm leaving it on top. I'm not changing up the order in any way here. All right, I'm going to put my decimal directly underneath. In front of that decimal, I have a 3. Behind the decimal, I have a 9 and a 4. Okay, do I need to add anything here? No, I don't need any zeros. Everything's lined up. We're good. 6 minus 4 is 2. 1 minus 9. Can't do that, so I'm going to borrow from 2. 2 becomes 1. And I put a 1 in front there, so now what number did that make? 11. 11 minus 9 is 2. We're going to keep our decimal there. 1 minus 3? I can't, so I'm going to borrow from 8. 8 becomes 7. Put my 1 in front next door. 1 minus 3. I'm sorry, 11 minus 3. Thank y'all. 8. And then the 7, is there anything to subtract? No, so I get 78.22. All right. Make sure you have that work shown. Make sure you line the decimals up. Are there questions about 1 or 2? Okay. For number 3, I don't have as much space, so I'm going to be a little bit neater about this. When I do multiplication, do I need to worry about lining up the decimals? No. Do I even need to write the decimals? No, not until the end. So I'm going to do 764 times 5, 9. All right, you can tell I'm kind of making my work a little small here so that I have more space to do the busy stuff to keep my numbers lined up. All right, 9 times 4 is? 36. So I'm going to write my 6, carry my 3. 9 times 6 is? 9 times 6 is 54, plus 3 is? 57, carry my 5. 9 times 7 is? 63, plus 5? 68. Okay, so I'm done with those numbers. I'm done with the 9. So we're ready to multiply the 5. What do I need to do now? Put a 0 there. Make sure we have a 0 under the 6. 5 times 4 is? 20. So that's another 0 there. 5 times 6 is? 30 plus the 2. Carry a 3 this time. 5 times 7? 35. Make sure we're adding the 3 we just wrote. So plus 3 is? 38. And now we can add that up. 0 plus 6? 7 plus 0? 8 plus 2? Carry that 1. 1, 6, and 8? 15. Carry the 1. 1 and 3? 4. Where do I need to put the decimal? Where do I need to put the decimal, Noah?
Behind the,
Between what two numbers?
5 and 0.
So there's 1, 2, 3 behind the decimal in our answer. So I want, in our problem, so I want 3 numbers behind the decimal in my answer. So it's between the 5 and 0. And we're going to circle that. Okay. All right, so for the next one, I have 8.64 divided by 0.22. When I set up this division problem, so there's my division problem. What number is going to be going at the door, Peyton? 0.22 is at the door. Remember, the last one is the one that gets shut out. And then I have 8.64 in the house. Okay, what do I need to do before I start dividing here? Brayden? Mm-hmm. We're moving it 2 times because 2 times at the door makes it whole. And if I do it at the door, I do it in the house. And make sure we go ahead and raise it to the roof. So make sure you bring it up after the 4. Okay? Let's zoom in so we can see this even better. All right. How many times can 22 go into 8? It can't. So am I going to write anything on top of 8? No. How many times can 22 go into 86, Christian? 4 times. Because 4 times 2 is 8, and 4 times the other 2 is 8. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? No, but it's too big. So what do I need to use instead? 3. All right, so excuse my really messy writing. That's why we should be using a pencil. It just doesn't show up on my screen good. So I should have 3. So instead of 88 here, I'm going to have 66. All right, 6 minus 6 is 0. 8 minus 6 is 2. Let's bring down our 4. Okay, so let's be a little bit more careful this time. How many times can 22 go into 204? Peyton? 6 times. So I'm going to go over here and multiply since last time I didn't double check our work. So 22 times 6. 6 times 2 is 12. I'm going to carry the 1. 6 times 2 is 12 again, plus the 1 is. So I get 132. I can probably get closer to 204. So what can I try? Okay, we can try 7. Guys, that's pretty far away, isn't it? I might want to jump up more. Okay, so we can try 8. I would probably at least jump to 8. 22 times 8. 2 times 8 is 16. Carry the 1. 2 times 8 is still plus the 1. So I get 176. Do y'all think I can get closer to 204? Probably. So let's try 9. 22 times 9. 9 times 2 is 18. Carry my 1. 9 times 2 is 18 again, plus the 1. So I get 198. That's pretty close. Can I even go higher than 9 anyways? No. So we're going to use 9. Make sure you put it on top of the 4. And 9 times 22 was 198. When I subtract that, 4 minus 8, can I do that? Can I borrow from 0? I'm going to borrow from 2. That makes it a 1. Now that becomes 10. I'm going to borrow from 10, making it 9. And 14 minus 8 is 6. 9 minus 9 goes away. 1 minus 1 goes away. All right. I have 6. Is there anything left to bring down? No. If this was a fraction, I could make 6 a fraction. It's not. So what am I going to do? Add a 0. Okay. How many times will 22 go into 60? Easton. So that would give me 44. What's 3 times 22? That would give me. So times 3 would give me 66. So yeah, twice is right. Easton's right. So 2 times 22 is 44. So let's be careful subtracting that. Can I do 0 minus 4? No. So I'm going to borrow. 6 becomes 5. So now it's 10 minus 4, which is 6. And 5 minus 4 is 1. Has anything repeated? Nope. So let's add a 0, unfortunately. All right. How many times can 22 go into 160, Peyton? 7. So I have times 6. I have times 8. So let's go ahead and do times 7. 22 times 7. 7 times 2 is 14. Carry my 1. 7 times 2 is still 14. Plus the 1 is 15. So I got 154. Would that go be? Yeah. So I'm going to put 7. 7 times 22 is 154. When I subtract, can I do 0 minus 4? So So that becomes 5. 10 minus 4 is 6. 5 minus 5? 1 minus 1. So I get 6, add a 0, bring it down, 60. Have we seen that before? Yeah, we saw that right here. So guys, what that means is this whole thing is going to repeat. So how many numbers are repeating? Because I'll end up with 60, then I'll get 44, then I'll end up with 16, then I'll get 154, then I'll get 60 again. Then I'll get 44, then I'll get 16, then I'll get 144, then I'll get 60 again. All right? So, So 4 numbers aren't going to repeat because all that's happening is I get 60, 160, 60, 160, 60, 160. So what's repeating here is my 2 and my 7. So guys, I'm putting 1 bar on top of that. 2 doesn't get a bar and 7 get a bar. They get 1 bar that goes on top of both, okay? And that's going to be my answer. What number was that in front? That right there is a 3, guys. That is a 3. All right, I don't have a pencil to erase it, but that is a 3. Okay. That was a little long when you have one that repeats like that. That can be a little long. I think we discovered when we were out here working on Friday that when you have that repeating happening, your math gets a little long because you have to show that it's happening again and again and again. All right. Are there any questions about 1, 2, 3, or 4? All right. Today we are going to practice simplifying. So I'm going to get that worksheet passed out and we're going to talk a little bit. You do need to go ahead and get out a piece of paper. Alright, so at the top of your paper, let's just remind ourselves that today we are simplifying. Which means that you are dividing. Let me zoom out so we can see this better. When we simplify, we are dividing the top and bottom of a fraction by the same number. And our goal here is to make it smaller. Alright, so we are dividing the top and the bottom by the same number to make it smaller. Is that better? Alright, numbers to use when dividing. Numbers to use when dividing. Let's make a little list of numbers that are going to be easy to use. Alright, so what is our favorite number to divide by because it's the easiest one? Jeremy? 2. We like 2. That one's really easy. What's another number that's really easy to divide by? You can just look at the number and decide, I know it will work or I know it won't work just by looking at the number. Peyton? That's not the one I'm thinking of. Mary Webb? 5. So y'all agree 2 is really easy because if it's even it works. 5 is really easy because if it ends in 0 or 5 it works, right? So we agree. Those are like the first 2 we want to try. Okay? After I've tried 2 and 5, what would be the next one I would want to try?
7.
Mason? 3. So 3 would be the next one because 3 is smaller. It's easier to try than 7. Does anyone remember the trick for seeing if 3 would work? So our trick for 3, put a little arrow here. Here's a little trick that you can use. So like the number 51. What is 5 plus 1? 5 plus 1 equals? Can 3 go into 6?
Yes.
So guess what? 3 can go into 51. So 3 would work here. What about the number 72? What's 7 plus 2? 9. Can 3 go into 9?
Yes.
Yes, so can 3 go into 72? Yes. What about 13? What's 1 plus 3? 4. Can 3 go into 4? Can 3 go into 13? No. Okay, so all you're doing is I'm just adding them up to see if it can go into it. It's a quicker way to check than trying to go through the division. All right, so like here, I know that 3 would work, so I'd still have to do 3 divided into 51. 3 will go into 5 once. That gives me 3. When I subtract, I get 2. 3 will go into 21 7 times. All right, so you would still have to do the division, but this is a way to say yes or no without actually dividing it. Because if it's no, do you want to have to go through all of this? No. What if I gave you the number 537? What's 5 plus 3? Let's do this slowly. 5 plus 3 is 8. What's 8 plus 7? 15. Okay. Can 8 go into 15? So, I'm sorry. Can 3 go into 15? Yes. So is 3 going to be able to go into this big giant number? Yes. Now I'd have to go and divide it. What if I gave you the number 217? What's 2 plus 1? 3. What's 3 plus 7? 10. Can 3 go into 10? So can 3 go into 217? No. Do I want to have to try dividing 3 into that giant number just to find out? No, it doesn't work. That doesn't sound like fun, okay? So that's just a trick for 3. Okay, if 3 doesn't work, what would I want to try next? 7. Okay. After 7, those are usually kind of our go-tos, right? After 7, I want to start thinking about prime numbers, which is what we've been listing. After 7, it would just be prime numbers. So there's a problem today on your worksheet where one of the numbers in the fraction is 17. 17 is a prime number, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what is the only thing that will go into 17?
1.
Let's try raising our hand because I'm getting some wrong answers, I'm getting some right answers. Easton?
1.
1 will go into 17, but does that change it? No. Mary Webb? 17. How many times will 17 go into 17? Once. So if it's a prime number, you are going to use itself, whatever number that was. So if it has 17 in the problem, the number I'm going to try is 17. If it has 13 in the problem, the number I'm going to try is 13. If that number doesn't work, can I simplify it any at all? No. All right, so that's just kind of some tips to keep in mind. So we're going to look at number 1 together. And I'm going to just rewrite the problem right here on my paper. So it's 2 over 4. What number am I going to use to simplify 2 over 4? What would I use to simplify that, Jeremy? 2. So I'm going to divide the top by 2, and I'm going to divide the bottom by 2. So 2 divided by 2 gives me 1. 4 divided by 2 gives me 2. So I get 1/2. Okay, let's look at number 2, which says 38 over 20. This one says 38 over 20. All right, what number will go into 38 and also go into 20? Peyton? What can go into 38 and into 20? Mary what? 2. They're even, right? If it ends in 2, 4, 6, 8, and 0, I can use 2. So I'm going to divide these by 2. All right, 38 divided by 2. I might need to go to the side, so I'm going to do 2 at the door, 38 in the house. Y'all see that right there? 2 will go into 3. How many times will 2 go into 3? Once. 1 times 2 is 2. When I subtract, I get. So when I bring down that 8, now it's 18. How many times will 2 go into 18? 9. 2 goes into 18 perfectly, right? So I'm just not going to write any more numbers. Are y'all okay with that? So I'm just done. So 38 divided by 2 is? 19. What's 20 divided by 2? 10. So I get 19 over 10. All right? Listen carefully to the question I'm about to ask. Can 19 over 10 simplify any more? Raise your hand if you can answer that question. Can 19 over 10 simplify anymore? Keegan? No. All right. Some people have been very confused about that because 19 over 10, does that look good? No. But can I divide the top and bottom by the same number? No. But what we do need to do, so what we need to do is not simplify. I just need to fix this. What's wrong with it? It's improper. We got to change it. I need to have a big number in front because I have a big number on top. Okay? So what we're going to do, guys, is we're just going to put 10 at the door because it's on the bottom. And I'm going to put 19 in the house. How many times will 10 go into 19? Keegan? Once. So that's going to be my whole number. And 1 times 10 is? 10. When I subtract, I get? So how many are left over? 9. Keegan, what do I do with my leftovers? Raise them up. So we're going to put them on top. So 9 goes on top. What's going to be my bottom still? 10. So for number 2, a little bit longer, I got 1 and 9/10. Are there any questions on how we set that up? All right. Let's look at number 3. So number 3 says 35 over 40. What number can I use to simplify 35 and 40? What can I use to simplify? Christian? 5. So I'm going to divide the top by 5 and the bottom by 5. What does that give me on top? Frank? And on the bottom? Perfect. So I get 7 over 8. Can I simplify any more? No. Is this a good way to leave my answer? Yes. So my answer here is just 7 over 8. So some of them are going to be as easy as 1 and 3. Some of them are going to be a little bit harder, like number 2. All right, since I have this work down here for 2, I'm going to go below to do number 4. All right, am I still on the screen? I'm going to move it up because I'm getting a little off. All right, so number 4 was 5 and 22 over 4. Okay, what can I use to simplify this? Noah? 2. Y'all agree 2 will go into 22, 2 will go into 4? Okay, so we're going to divide by 2. Noah, do I need to divide the 5 by the 2? No, 5 is just going to stay 5. Make sure we write it down. 22 divided by 2? 11. 4 divided by 2? 2, okay? Can I simplify this anymore? Peyton, can I simplify anymore? No. 11 and 2, that's it. Is this a good way to leave my answer? No, because we have a big number on top. All right? So, guys, for right now, I'm just going to look at this fraction, just the fraction. I'm going to do 2 into 11. How many times will 2 go into 11? 5 times. So that's my big number. 5 times 2 is 10. How many are left over? Guys, I already had a number in front. What am I going to do with this number in front and my new number that I got as the whole amount? What am I going to do with those 2 numbers? Raise your hand so I can actually hear you. What am I doing with these 2 numbers? Jeremy? I'm going to add them up. So what does 5 plus 5 give me?
10.
So I end up with 10. How many were left over? 1. And what goes on the bottom? 2. Okay, so I'm going to pause here. Are there any questions on where the 10 came from? So that big number only changes if you get more big numbers. We're okay with that?
Yes.
We're good here. 5 and 5 gave me the 10. Okay. Let's look at number 5. Number 5, I have 9 and 12 over 44. What number can I divide those by? What number can I divide those by? Looking for a new hand. Jalea, what can go into 12 and into 44? 2. I can divide them by 2. If 2 works, we like using 2. All right, is 2 going to go into the 9, Jalea? No, that 9 in front is just going to stay in front. 12 divided by 2 is? 6. And 44 divided by 2 is? 22. Okay. Can I simplify this anymore? Kelsey? Yes, what number can I use? 2. If I can use 2, we're going to keep using 2. So I'm going to divide by 2. Okay, so my 9 still stays there. 6 6 divided by 2 is? 3. 22 divided by 2 is? Right. Can I simplify this any more? No. So that one is my answer. Okay. Let's look at number 6. Number 6 is 25 over 40. What number can I divide 25 by and 45 by? RJ? 5. So I'm going to divide by 5. Okay. What is that going to leave me with when I divide them by 5? Jeremy? 5 and? 8. Can I simplify any more? Peyton? Nope. Let's look at 7. 7 says 13 over 7. What number will go into 13 and into 7? Nothing. Guys, 7 is a prime number, right? Yeah. So 7 can go into 7. Cool. Can 7 go into 13? No. So if your prime number will not go into both of them, then can you simplify? No. So that means 13 over 7 is simplified, but is that a good way to leave my answer? No, because I have that big crazy thing on top. So we're going to come over here. We're going to do 7 at the door because it's down, 13 in the house. How many times can 7 go into 13? 7 is 13. How many times can it go in? Morgan? 1 time. 1 times 7 is 7. What's 13 minus 7? Braden? 6. And what am I going to do with those leftovers, Braden? Raise it up. So we're going to put 6 on top and 7 at the door. On the bottom. Okay. So my answer ends up being 1 and 6 over 7. Because was there a big number in the front to put it with? Was there anything in front of this to put the 1 with? No. So we were able to just leave it alone. You okay with that? Every single problem on here will change. So did this need to be simplified? No, but did it need to change? Yes, so every problem on here will either have to simplify or it will need to change like we just did. Okay, so let's look at number 8. Number 8, so you can do something to everything on here. So we have 11 and 25 over 60. All right, what number can I use to simplify this problem? Chikaya? 5. I'm going to divide by 5 on the top and 5 on the bottom. Chikaya, do I need to divide the 11 by 5? No, because it's the big number in front, so just rewrite it. Rewrite it. I feel like I said that kind of funny. 25 divided by 5? 60 divided by 5? 12. Very good. What can I do to simplify this? What can I do to simplify this? Peyton? Nothing. If y'all can raise your hand for that nothing like Peyton is, that'd be great. All right, so my answer here is 11 and 5/12. All right. Let's look at number 9. Number 9. We have 97 and 12 over 28. What can I use to simplify this problem? Noah? 2. If 2 will work, let's use 2. So we're going to divide by 2. Am I dividing the 97 by 2? No, 97, we just rewrite. 12 divided by 2 is? 6. 28 divided by 2? 14. All right, what can I use to simplify this problem? Peyton? 2. I can divide by 2 again. Okay, 97, just keep writing it. 6 divided by 2 is? 3. And my pen is running out of ink. I'm hoping it'll survive this last thing. 14 divided by 2? 7. And that would not simplify. I forgot to ask y'all. That one is done. Kind of already put the box, so I gave it away. All right, the last one we're going to do together, number 10. So, guys, if you're still having trouble, if you have questions, this is the time. Because I'm fixing to let you go on your own. All right, so for number 10, I have 17. And then we have 20 over 14. All What can I do to simplify this problem? Brady? Divide it by 2. Am I dividing the 17 by 2? No. So I still have 17. 20 divided by 2 is? 10. 14 divided by 2 is? 7. What can I do to simplify this problem? Jeremy? We cannot simplify it. But can I leave my answer like this? No. So what's wrong here, Jessica? What's wrong with that answer? Yeah, it's improper. We got that big number on top. Okay, so let's fix that. How many times can 7 go into 10? Once. How many are going to be left over? 3. So guys, what is my big number? So I got another big number. So what am I going to do with those? Yeah, I'm going to take those and add them together, and that gives me what? 18. How many was left over when I subtract 10 minus 7? I get 3. So 3 over. So I get 18 and 3/7. Sorry, guys, I was trying to squeeze that in. Okay. Are we okay with what to do with those two big numbers? All right. Guys, I want you to look down at number 12. Do y'all see how you have a big number on top? Divide that and make the number smaller. So if you don't know how to simplify this, it will simplify. But if you don't know how, decide how many times will 24 go into 51. Put your leftovers on top, and then it'll be easier to simplify. Okay? All right, so you're getting started on this, guys. I want you to do the next. Y'all can get started. It might be to 30 because that's what I'm really feeling like. These aren't that bad. All right, so let's get started. We're going to see how far we get, and then I'll make a decision. All right, so I want to make sure we're going to be walking around. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, but we are going to plan on going to 30.